Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Friday, so you know what that means. Grab something red because we remember everyone deployed, and join us for happy hour. We're going to be talking about crypto, freedom, fam, fun, friends, meetups, and we tolerate only love, positivity, and truth here. So if you're not along those lines, get out. But if you are, welcome. We're glad you're here. Be right back with Westwood right after this. What's up, Westwood?
Love, positivity, and truth.
What time is it?
And a red solo cup. It's happy hour time.
Happy
it's
hour
time to drink.
Time to drink.
What you
Get your
drinking?
drink on. I'm having a little Tito's and Zevia.
Not like Zima. Zevia.
No. This is it has like a natural sweetener in it. That's
Stevia.
Calorie free.
Yeah, stevia, stevia,
it has
whatever
stevia
it is.
in it. Good to see. Oh, J-Mac's in the house. J-Mac, I have missed you, my friend.
When the goes down, you better get ready.
Get ready, everybody. There's like, okay, 24. I do not know what 2442 means, but title 42, we know what that means. Then there's all this 24 I'm seeing. I don't know if that means there's 24 hours. But somebody's been retweeting this this old episode from, I think it was from February 4th. There was some 24 reference from a really old Crypto Rewind episode that Rice and I did with Sean. That's how I met Satoshi Sean. And we were talking about when the S goes down and all of that.
Get ready.
Better get ready. And somebody was retweeting it last night, and then it's a weird thing. And then there's this whole Fandang or Dan Fonlin. Is that what it's called? There's some.
Isn't that what's his name? Eric Swallowell out of California. Wasn't that the one? Fonlin or something?
There's a Chinese anniversary about, and it's today. And it's the 24th memorial or anniversary, or maybe 42nd. Oh gosh, I'm so dyslexic.
No, it's actually dyslexic. Get it right.
I'm that too. Yes. So there's something to do, or there's a lot of comms around 2442. I don't know what it all means, to be honest. Like, I just know when I smell something, but I don't know always what it means.
You got a sniffer though.
I do.
I know that.
Sniff
it out.
I send it to Westwood all the time. I'm like, what does this mean?
I'm like, I'm asleep right now, Lisa.
I send it to you on Twitter so that you can look at it later when you wake up.
I'm just being silly.
I
appreciate that you include me.
Yeah, Target is woke, so don't go to Target anymore. They got to go broke.
Over the Target.
Look at this damn handsome man.
I'm telling you.
That cracked me up. I was like, oh my gosh, happy hour.
Looks like it was taken today, but actually that was about
No, you don't have that
12 years ago. 12 years ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have that much shadow.
No.
This was epic. If you did not watch the CNN.
Speaking of shaving, she's got a cat and her name's Virginia. No.
Oh, Lord. That lady is full out crazy, though. I mean, where they find these people.
Crazy eyes. She's just.
Yeah. Well, I played a video of her.
Sounds like Nancy.
Talking to, this is it. So I did retweet this after somebody, like out of the blue. Yeah, it was from February 3rd, but it was tune in Friday, February 4th. And so it was like 2-4. And I was like, oh my gosh, 2-4, 4-2, 2-4. And then we were talking about all this crazy stuff. So you can go check that out on Rice's channel. It's really old, but go check it out. Very interesting. Obviously, we poked the bear.
We got banned last week, didn't we?
Oh, and here was another thing. American-born Chinese original series streaming on 2-4 on Disney Plus. More 2-4s.
That was a series with Kiefer Sutherland, 2-4. And Donald Sutherland was the guy from the government in JFK that was leaking everything to Kevin Costner, who was actually Jim Garrison in the movie. And so there's that connection.
Just saying.
I'm just saying, too. It's all connected.
Like, I don't always understand the connection. I thought this was hilarious because this bear came out, and I was like, oh, this is going to be the Litecoin bear. Like, wait, you guys need me for now? You ready for me yet?
Yeah, you guys have been up bad enough yet that I need to come in and fix it?
You ready for me yet? This is the Litecoin bear. Pretty much. He's like, shake it off. He's ready.
He's like, all right, fine. You guys have played long enough. It's time for the bear to come out and fix all this crap because we can handle it. I can handle it. The big white bear.
I can't even tell you how many 2-4 things there were. Where was the anniversary? I can't find it. I found there was like an information thing about what this today is, some kind of anniversary about this Chinese celebration, and they're doing all this. And so I was concerned that it might be an FF, but maybe not. Anyway.
Show your finds at the.
Yeah, so I want to talk to you about that. I bought you something today. I'm so excited for for my finds. Yes. So I have started, like, I love now garage selling, and it's part of our homeschooling too. Like when Cannon's here, because he gets the money and he goes and checks out, and then he makes sure he does the math and all that stuff. But so I got you this Jim Beam 1966 decanter. Is that so cool?
That's awesome.
It's American Eagle.
Bring it. This is going in the bar.
I thought that was going to be so cool in the bar.
It's going to go great in the bar. Love it.
I thought it was great. It's a freedom thing. It's
let freedom drink.
Some Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's not full of anything, but
bourbon.
We could
all
refill
whiskey,
it and
but not all
drain it again.
Bourbon.
But
not any whiskey. Well, technically, bourbon's a type of whiskey.
I didn't know all that.
Yeah, it has to be in Kentucky to be bourbon.
So I've gotten, like, I watch these shows, and I've gotten a good eye, and I like have started watching these things, and like this one, that little vase in the center that's white with a little hand painting on it. They had like some cheap silk flowers in it, and I'm like,
Japanese.
That looks familiar. No, it's from Oklahoma. It's Fenton glass. They used to have the iridium, or am I saying it right? Where it glowed, that glass.
It's like iridium,
I think it's called. Anyway, this is not the glowing glass that's nuclear and will make you sick. But some of these went for anywhere from like ones that were like 6 inches tall. One of them was 3 inches tall, and I found it for like $300. One was like 6 inches tall, went for like $200. So I think mine's anywhere from like $500 to maybe $1,000. I don't know. I think
how much did you pay for it?
I think I paid $20 for it.
That's like buying Litecoin under $100. You stole it.
Yeah. Then this little pitcher is Wedgwood. I looked it up. The cheapest one I could find, just like it, exactly like it, was $399.
Wow.
I paid $5 for it. A little blue pitcher. This really cool, they call it a biscuit jar. It's a cookie jar in America, but it's from Ireland, and and it's pretty old. This lady was 90 years old actually this is from like 3 different houses, but some of the coolest stuff's from the lady that was 90 years old. And it's from Ireland, and I can't remember, I cannot pronounce that, but it's a Bleak biscuit jar. Anyway, and I saw those. I think I paid $20. Belleek, maybe 2 L's. Belleek.
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Belleek.
Anyway, I loved it just because I thought it looked cool. And then I started looking it up, and they were selling from $50 up. And then I found this Wizard of Oz book. And so I had to check it out. And on the front, she has little silver shoes. I don't know if you guys can see that in the picture. And so then we flip to the back of the book.
True to the book.
Yeah. And I started reading in the book. There's also other parts of this that I would love to. I probably would do something for like my Patreon or something and read through the end of the book. Because it talks about a gold hat that
there's different things, because L. Frank Baum, the guy that wrote it, wrote several of. It's not just the Wizard of Oz; it's like all kinds of different ones. And we just see the movie one, but he wrote several books in the whole series.
Well, I had never heard about this gold hat that gave, and so the gold hat gave them, the monkeys had to obey 3 times. And it makes me wonder about Cliff High's data about the money will fail 3 times. And then the witch did take one of her silver slippers, because it made the girl trip in the night from a steel rail or a steel beam. I can't remember how it said the story went. And when she tripped from the steel beam, the witch stole half the money, stole one shoe. And then the girl got so angry about how wrong that was when she saw that you're evil and you stole from me, that she threw the water on her. She refused the water and threw the water, and that destroyed or melted, and the witch had no power. And the little girl, I never heard this part either, that the witch always knew she could never touch the little girl, because the little girl had the good witch's kiss upon her forehead. So was chosen by God. They could never really touch you. All they can do is scare you.
Yes. Fear you into compliance.
That's Imagine the whole, that. Yeah. Huh. And then once she threw the water on her, refused the water, destroyed the witch with the water, then she dried off the shoe or cleaned up the shoe. I can't remember the exact words.
Got all the witch residue off of it.
Yeah. And then put the silver shoes back on. And then Glenda the Good Witch came
of the north
to help and said, you could always go back home. You had it with you, but then what about your friends? What are you going to do with your friends? And so then the golden cap was given back to, the gold was given to Glenda to help the friends, the straw man, the tin man, and the lion go back to their homes, because it would command the monkeys to do 3 things. Glenda would be able to command the monkeys, and then Dorothy went home. But all she had to do was wake up to be home. She already was there.
Yeah,
she was
all
already
a dream.
There.
It's all an illusion.
Yeah. If you think about all that with where we are, we're already here. We already have everything we need. And if the gold hasn't really been imprisoning us, but could be sent back to the other countries that we've stolen it from all these years, because, we were keeping the gold in Fort Knox, and then we refused to return it to all those countries and all that.
Or it's locked up in all these canyons and mountains, and we're not going to let humanity use it.
But if that's sent back to all the countries that are supposed to have it, if the lion and the scarecrow and the tin man go back,
Africa,
I don't know.
Straw man of, I don't know.
Would that be Indonesia, China?
I don't know.
Or would tin? I don't know what tin would
identifying be. People. And,
Yeah, I don't know what those would represent.
I don't know.
It's very interesting, though. Yeah.
Well, the whole book is based on the monetary standard. I mean, anyway, the Wizard of Oz. So, the whole yellow brick road and the silver slippers can walk along that path that is the monetary system. Silver can travel on it too. It can save you.
Here's the other really cool thing. If anyone can help us with this, we've been unable to find any pictures, any artwork similar to this, any, all we can find Mickey Mouse watches. There's nothing that has a John Q. Okla, like Oklahoma. John Q.
John Q. Okla. John Q. Public. John Q.
Watch.
Okla.
This was from the house from the lady that was 90, and it was her husband's. How cool is that? Charlie said that this guy walks up because he saw the big yellow hands and he thought it was Mickey Mouse. And then he goes, and he throws it down, and Charlie's like, what is that?
Charlie saw an opportunity going against the herd here a little bit.
That's right.
Finding value in things that the masses don't find value in. That's the key here.
But we literally, like, we've searched multiple websites. I can't find an image. I can't find artwork that's like this, like vintage artwork. I can't find anything about John Q.
Does it have a manufacturer date on the back?
No manufacturer. All it says is stainless steel back and chrome plated something case or something like that.
Put it into
no
that
dates.
Avogadro or Gematria thing and see what it is. See what it comes back with.
John Q. Okla?
Yeah. You know, you don't know where to go to Gematria. Here to help. Here to help. I love the shirt. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
It's even more beautiful with the person wearing it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
The lovely Litecoin Lisa, everybody. She's here every Friday at 4 p.m. Actually, every day.
Thank you.
I'm only here on Fridays.
Oh man, I was so tempted to call you on Wednesday, and then you were like,
there we go.
You did your show on Wednesday, and you said, "Oh, it's not happy hour yet," and I was like, "Oh, I could have called you.
We can make it happy hour.
I could have used a happy hour on Wednesday for sure."
Like, yeah. Gonna produce some content here. Why don't you hop on and have a happy hour?
Yeah. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see.
No, I listened to the Litecoin Underground on Wednesday night. And it was pretty good, talking about ordinals and stuff. Trying to get my head around that.
There's a lot of noise around all that. It's really interesting.
A lot going on.
And yeah, hold on. I'm going to do this real quick. John Q. Okla.
Got a lot of good peeps in the house.
I know. I've got to go catch up with my
Light Shadow, Charlie G, Warrior 32, G Chin, Mark Weems, JB Rants, J Mac, of course. And keep on going
Year of
back.
the Rabbit, which is this year.
I got rabbits everywhere. This place, rabbits.
What is
rabbits.
the odds of that?
Daddy O's in the house. I know that. Crypto at St. Jerome. Kent, go check him out. Crypto Experiences.
Yes.
On YouTube.
Christianity.
Lisa in the house.
Hi,
Jason
Lisa.
in the house. Jason Moore. Mr. Olfong. John Morgan, Captain. John Morgan.
5885. Remember this day.
Thanks for being here.
Heavens. Purity. Orpheus driving.
Anything?
It's you. Enemy of the people. Burberry. Sometimes it's the second half. Hold on. Okay. September Twin Flame. Whoa, these have some big numbers on them. Hold on. September Twin Flame. The Secret Solomon. Bullshit. Well, there you go. Mercury. Generator. Algorithm. Obvious. XRP boom.
There it is. That's it. It's a sign. Everybody go out, buy XRP.
No,
say, look at Westwood. He's a big XRP shell.
And there's Twin Flame again. Twin Flame again.
Twin Flame. I've got a Twin Flame lighter around here somewhere.
Invasion.
Yeah, well, we got a little invasion going on, I think. Kind of invasive.
Oh, I think it's so bullshit. Speaking of bullshit.
Speaking of a little bull, Patty.
Yeah. Remember what you're watching is on TV.
No doubt. Fatalita. Yeah, Fatalita. Light it up, baby, with a Fatalita.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Remember that it's on TV. And remember, most of this is really a big show and it's all entertainment. I saw something today and I didn't write it down. I didn't look into it, but I don't know. It was Robert Kennedy said it, that most of the news media is funded by the CI.
Yeah, they said it themselves.
We know that, but I mean, for a
60s.
major figure to actually come out and say that, and that's why I say, I mean, Trump, you never heard about the deep state. I mean, it's all conspiracy, and then he made it a common term, and now everybody's like, well, of course there's one. Of course they've been running stuff, and now you got Kennedy coming out and exposing things, and people are like, yeah, we've always known that. See, that justifies everybody then. Yeah, we knew about that. Yeah, we've heard about this problem with this and all that. So it normalizes it and mainstreams it. So pretty soon it's like, okay, yeah, this has been going on, hasn't it? So I'm not really crazy. We're not crazy.
Well, and Sean talked about that. He said, remember when like they couldn't keep Area 51 a secret anymore?
Right.
And so then they just start talking about it all the time. Yeah, we've always talked about that. Everyone's known about it.
Everybody knows about Area 51.
I watched a thing the other night on History Channel about, they had aliens and time travel or something like this. And it was 45 minutes and 17 seconds long. And I was like,
oh, come on. Come on, man.
Sometimes they just mess with me, I swear. And so we turned it on, and then they started talking about Area 51 in Kingman, Arizona. And I was like, it's not in Kingman. I always thought it was in Nevada somewhere.
Yeah, it's north of Las Vegas. They take a little shuttle out of Las Vegas.
Well, so that's not what they say on the History Channel. They say it's in Kingman, Arizona. And then they start talking about this guy who works at a base in this other place in Nevada came up with this story about the aliens that were kept somewhere. But they're saying that Area 51 is actually in Kingman. It was very bizarre.
Maybe that's Area 51 and a half, because you see that with the addresses on houses. They'll be like, okay, well, that's 101, that's 101 and a half.
I don't know.
It's like California, they squeeze something in the sliver. It's like, okay, I'm just, a half.
I think there's just episodes that are only, I think there's episodes that are only come to my TV that are like, oh, Lisa was born in Kingman. Let's send this to her.
They don't have the technology to manipulate all mass media. Come on, Lisa.
Where
would they get the money for something that big?
They just print it.
You got a point. So why do people pay taxes if they can just I'm just curious.
Yes, this is absolutely a no troll zone. So Westwood, I don't know if you caught Johnny and I show
I only caught a little bit of it, so I didn't see any.
Yeah.
Were you getting trolled?
I last Friday, when the person came in and was harassing me about being a white parent of a black child.
Like Mohammed something?
I don't know. But we got I got a strike on my channel for saying that I was cyberbullying. And I was like, no. They were harassing me. But I have no way to defend myself.
Yeah, what do you do? I mean, you go against this digital board. Algorithms. It's like, hey, talk to the algorithm. Talk to the algorithm. It's like, what? Mm-hmm. You're talking to the algorithm.
Yeah. So to my mods in the chat, wrench away.
It's hammer time.
If anybody gets out of line, we don't have to. I've always tried to let people,
I do too.
Let freedom ring, but when they're being abusive, then.
Crazy.
Shahid Amid, good to see you, my friend.
There was the same thing happens on my channel a lot. I've got 2 trolls in particular that are like constantly, and then one is chewing me out and comments saying, "You delete my stuff," and I'm just laughing at you because you can't handle the truth and all this stuff. And it's like, I've never deleted any of it. And yesterday he posted, yesterday he posted something. I responded to it. I said, "Enjoy the show," with a frog face, and they got deleted. Yeah. And I mean, I go back to look at it, it's gone. So, I mean, somehow. Oh,
your own comments are being deleted.
Anything in his feed that he puts in there, he gets deleted automatically. I don't do anything. It's not me. Trust me.
What if he's doing it himself?
I don't think so, because mine got deleted too in the whole thread. So, I mean, it's a YouTube thing. So it's either somebody's reporting him and getting it deleted, or YouTube's actually modding it with whatever algorithm and deleting him.
There is a setting in your settings that says
hold for appropriate, but see, I always have that off. I always put show all comments all the time, potentially
inappropriate comments or something like that.
And I always leave that off. I always put show all comments, and then they post the comments, they're in there, and then I respond, and then they just disappear. So I don't know how that's happening. I'm just kind of curious, but somebody's watching.
It's so funny because that's always the reason for why people think they shouldn't have privacy, is because, well, who am I? Why would they be watching me? Like, who cares about me? Whatever.
Right.
But, we aren't big accounts, but somebody's
No.
watching.
I know. That's why I'm like, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers.
Like,
What are you
I'm just
bothered
trying to
watching?
hang out with my friends on Friday evening and have
Right.
a drink and talk about what's going on in crypto and the
Have a virtual
world.
happy
And
hour here.
yeah, I'm just trying to have like a drink with my friends at the bar, and somebody's watching.
Speaking of which, you can do that in person. And where can we do that? It's very soon.
On June 23rd at Peoria Pizza Works in Peoria, Illinois.
Where Ron DeSantis is going to be speaking here in a matter of an hour or two. He's actually in Peoria with protesters.
Why? Why is the Florida governor?
Because he's bringing the blueprint of Florida to all the states. And he's coming to Illinois to the Republican, what is it? The Tazewell, Peoria County Republicans are sponsoring a dinner and sponsoring him to be there. Then it's sold out. I mean, they sold out. I don't know when, and so he's coming to speak about the blueprint of Florida, the Florida blueprint. Well, the governor here is all ticked off. He's like, "Oh, this guy's coming into my state," just complete opposite.
Oh, so to rally other Republicans in your state to stand for whatever Republican nominee would be then in your state.
Right. Look what's happening in our state. We can bring this to Illinois. We can bring this to this state. And so that's the idea. And there's protesters. Peoria Pride. There's a group called Peoria Pride. And the person in charge of it.
They're proud of what they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the PJStar.com, Peoria Journal Star, they had a little write-up on it and quoted this lady. And they said, we're going to have a protest today at 2 o'clock in Peoria Civic Center and City Hall. And we're expecting about 200 people. And we're going to be there at 2 o'clock. And then it says, weather permitting. It's very important for us to stand up against the ideals.
Unless it rains.
Unless it rains. It's so important. We believe so firmly in this, but if it rains,
think about the weather during J6.
It rained today.
Like
it's been raining all day off and on. So I'm curious. Like 3 people.
Yeah, because it was really like super cold and unexpectedly cold that day. And it did not deter all those people.
No.
So when you're serious about something, I don't think that matters to you.
Right. George Washington says, it's not that nice on Christmas tonight.
Grab an umbrella.
I don't think we should get in that boat and go across the river. I'm going to wait till the weather clears.
Yeah.
Sunshine Soldier and the Summer Patriot. Isn't that what it is? Thomas Paine wrote about? Summer Soldier and the Sunshine
I apologize that I don't know that. I should know that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember. I'm dyslexic. I get them confused. So.
Oh, I'm glad to hear
Get
that.
things crossed. Yeah.
I feel like I take in so much content, information, and I crave it. I want that when you start to learn a little. I have one of my friends that I've been sharing some stuff with from homeschooling, and she's a homeschool mom, so she's used to teaching and gathering information, teaching her child, teaching people, and she's just like, once she opened the door for me, I stuck my foot in there, and I just kept sending more information. She's like, how do you know all this stuff? Like, how did this ever start? And where did you, how did one thing? I was like, because when, the rabbit hole.
Just
I can't remember.
jump in.
We just did something about the rabbit. Yeah, follow the rabbit, Charlie G says.
Yeah.
The minute my mom gave us Litecoin and I said, why?
Right.
And she said, because our financial system is broken. And I had no idea. We had this conversation on World Blockchain Roundtable that we need to stop talking about inflation and we need to stop talking about how expensive things are, because it's not that things are expensive.
Nope.
It's that it's that the dollars are so worthless. It takes 12 of those shitty dollars to buy 1 pound of turkey. The pound of turkey has not changed since pre-COVID.
Yeah, those turkeys are still the same.
Is the same, but it used to cost like $3.50, $4 for a pound of turkey. Now it takes $12 to buy that same pound of turkey 3 years later. That's insane. That's completely insane.
But see, this is the thing, though. They manipulate you with language. You know this. I mean,
yes,
you're darn straight.
We have to take it back. We have to stop saying their words. And that's why when people say, circle back, I'm just going to circle back. I'm like, no, we don't say that at our house. Don't get numbed out by using their language.
Right. That's what they want. And so what they do, they talk about inflation, but
Things are not
when
more
they're saying
expensive.
inflation, right? When they say inflation, they're talking about price inflation. The price of things go up. See, they don't talk about monetary inflation, which is the real inflation. See, they created all this money. They inflated the money supply over this whole pandemic thing, and trillions of dollars. And that flooded into the system, giving out all these checks and all this stuff. And so that went into the system. And we're seeing it feed through the system. So all that money is going somewhere. Well, once it goes somewhere, it's going to drive the price up, because it's like if you hold an ounce of gold and there's so many ounces of gold, and then all of a sudden you find, this happened with silver in the 1800s, all of a sudden you find a whole bunch of gold somewhere in the Grand Canyon or Sierra Nevadas. You find all this gold, and pretty soon you're like, wait a minute, man, my 1 ounce of gold isn't worth so much, because look at all this other gold coming out of the ground. I mean, it's just coming out and coming out and coming out. And that's Bix's theory, in 1913, why they said, leave the gold in the ground. No, don't get it out, screw everything up. And so, I mean, that's inflation of the gold supply, because it's inflating. There's more coming in to the market. So
it's already at all-time highs again, and they're finding more and more of it all the time.
I know. They're finding a bunch now because it was raining in California. He's out panning in the rivers and streams, and they're getting gold. It's like, that's how plentiful it is.
There's another History Channel show. I am obsessed with the History Channel, about this Civil War gold that a bunch of these guys stole on a train, and it's like part of it's lost in Lake Michigan, and the other half is buried in a train along the shores of Lake Michigan. There's so much gold everywhere.
It's very plentiful, ridiculous. I think. I mean, it's kind of like diamonds, and there's all kinds of diamonds.
Do not ever. When my husband asked me to marry him, I was like, do not give me diamonds, because they do not hold their value. And he's like, well, you going somewhere? Yeah, go. But from my first marriage, I was hoping that would help me pay some attorney fees or whatever. And I went to go trade it in. And basically they gave me the gold melt of my ring, but
you get like a 10th maybe.
Yeah.
It's like, it might pay for a divorce party. It's about it.
Literally, it paid for
seriously
nothing.
Go out and party for one night, and that's it.
I was like, do not ever. I don't want.
Buy him some Litecoin. Buy him some silver. Buy him things that are scarce.
Speaking of which, Mother's Day is this weekend, and I love my mother so much, and she loves flowers, but she's like way better. She's the most amazing gardener you've ever met in your life. She can grow all the flowers.
No shortage of flowers.
Ever wants, yes. And you buy those flowers, and they just die anyway, and whatever. So I said, hey, Mom, I was going to order flowers for you today, but I was thinking I'd much rather send you Litecoin, but I want it to be your choice. What's more thoughtful gift, flowers or Litecoin? And she was like, Litecoin, please, with all her cute little emojis, So I got to send my mom Litecoin for Mother's Day, and I think you should too.
Full circle.
Yep. If you love your mother, everyone within the sound of my voice, if you love your mother, you will send her Litecoin for Mother's Day. You will, if that means getting on a Zoom call and helping her download a wallet, spending that time with her, if that means explaining to her what's going on with the financial system, if that means that you are just going to write it down on a paper wallet and store it for her, whatever that means. If you love your mother, you should send her Litecoin. Yes, I'm a fighter, not a bully. That's true. My mom bought me a shirt that said, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you why I'm right.
Right. I'm trying to explain it to you, because obviously you're not getting it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, educate you.
Yeah. I'm loving you in a strong way.
No, that's a good thing. I mean, and there's more ways to do that. I mean, we talked about the Venmo thing, to where on Venmo, you're going to be able to send Litecoin, take Litecoin off, buy Litecoin, sell Litecoin, do all. It's going to be, a whole new platform to be able to do that. And so you can actually buy it on there, send it to your mother. Your mother can take it off into her own private wallet. Mm-hmm. Adoption, baby. And Litecoin's one of the 4 coins that are on there. There's a lot that aren't on there. There's a reason why Litecoin.
And it is money for the future.
Yeah,
that
you can use it now.
That bear was sleepy. He's been in. He's been waiting. He's been waiting for his use case.
Bear's like, what do you want from me? I got this. Yeah, you want me to get up and actually do something? Right now, it's a piece of cake. You know, if I got to get up and do something and take all the transactions of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I can do that. That's what Litecoin says. I can do that. Do I have to do it right now? No. Just let me know when. No, right now I'm going to take a nap.
That's
Check
what
off
we
all
do.
the maxis here.
I don't
even care. If you
I don't think maxis hang out with us.
Transaction, then you got a problem. I mean, you got to start looking for better solutions like Litecoin. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, Litecoin and Digibyte. A big congratulations to Digibyte. They got listed as a trading pair on. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I saw they had a listing. I don't remember.
Is it crypto.com?
That you can buy it off crypto.com and withdraw it to your own wallet now. There's another one. That's a different pair. USDC or USDT or one of these stable coins.
Update.
I think you can trade
Digibyte. Had a new trading pair. I think you're right. Something which I'm not a trader, so I don't keep up with that stuff. But I saw Jared Tate talking about it.
More options.
Congrats. That's great. And it's in the US. It's an option for people in the US. So congratulations. Any kind of developments for Digibyte are great for people.
That's what we need. No, we need sound money that's been around for a long time. That's been around since January 10th, 2014. Digibyte been running nonstop. Litecoin, October 13th, 2011, running nonstop. I mean, and there's a finite supply of both, limited supply. I mean, that's what we need for the digital age. I mean, we're so early. Digibyte, people are like, oh, why do I need to get Digibyte? Litecoin does everything for me. Well, that's the same mentality of, well, Bitcoin can do it all. Why do I need Litecoin? Well, when you got $30 transactions on Bitcoin, you might want to use Litecoin for a penny transaction, just saying. And then if Litecoin becomes that at some point, because there's so much use, on the Litecoin network, well, then you got Digibyte, and it can handle it. And it's like, it's not just one. It's not one beer. It's not one bed. It's not one car. It's not one wife. Oh, wait. Yeah, that is one wife. It's not,
one wife.
It's just... It's just messy.
Well, but let's also remember that Bitcoin is supposed to be slow and that giant in the room. That's part of its safety.
It's got its own. It does its own thing.
I'm not there yet. I'm still working on. We're doing the book study on Mondays, Becoming Supernatural with Dr. Joe Dispenza and Amy Weir. So I'm on that book study, and I'm also still on my Fruit from Poisonous Tree, because that one's really heavy and I want to make sure I really understand that. So I'm in those 2 book studies right now. I'm not reading any other books right now. I bought some other books, so I'm really behind. But this is one of my next ones. I've watched some videos about it. Soft War by Major Jason Lowry, United States Force, and from MIT. This talks about Bitcoin's supposed to be that way. That's the security of Bitcoin.
Right.
That is the point of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was never supposed to be used as daily transaction money.
I mean, initially, the white paper kind of was, but it's evolved. And that's the thing. You don't know what the future holds. What it's become is that solid blockchain security. To where, exactly. Because if you think about it, I talked about it a little bit in a video earlier this week, but if you think about it, the cost at some point, a transaction on Bitcoin could be $100. It could be $1,000. And so that becomes like your Fort Knox, to where if you're going to put value, because data, this is the most important thing going forward, I think, in the digital age, data and where the data is protected, where the data is preserved. Where else is the data best preserved? It's going to be on a blockchain like Bitcoin, because it costs so much money to get a block on, it's like a high dollar like a Taylor Swift concert. Costs so much money to get into the concert, to where there's only a select few that can do it, and it's going to cost you to do it. So if you've got data that you want secured through this network that's been running since 2009, it's going to cost you to put it on there, but it's worth the cost. So if governments are like, hey, I want to put this SALT 5 treaty on this blockchain so everybody can see it, they don't care. They're going to put it on Bitcoin. Other people are like, okay, Litecoin's a lot cheaper. I'll put it on that. It's been running, and so on down the line. So there's a cost, and then to putting it on there. So that means there's therefore a cost to trying to break the chain. I mean, it takes all these resources to try and stop this monolith. Good luck. And that's his argument, is that there's so much attack there. So it's the cost of attacking it is so high. It's like mutually assured destruction in the nuclear war, Russia and the United States. It's like, okay, I can attack it, but I'm going to use all my resources. I'm going to die doing it. So probably not a good idea. It's probably not worth the effort. And that's kind of his philosophy, I think, in the Bitcoin thing. It's like, why would you attack it? It's like, you can attack the lion if you want to. You can go out there and try and fight the lion. Okay? Anybody can try and fight it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But it's got all the tools and it's well equipped and it's got all the armor. It's got all the mining, you know, and the Bitcoin. It's, you know, it's good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. I'm curious to see how fast all this is going to go down. Because we're getting to, we're mid-May, I guess.
We're going to run out of money. See, we're not going to run out of money. It's like we're going to reach the database threshold that we can't go over.
We already ran out of money. We're
it's like we're
that broke college kid living on mom and daddy's credit card.
Right. It's like, all right, can I open up another account and transfer the balance? Well, the interest rate's a little higher now.
They're about to pull the credit card. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, what does it mean? Think about it, though. Okay, what does it mean if they don't raise the debt ceiling come whatever, and June 1st, there's no more money, and that's it? They just start cutting. I mean, it's just bookkeeping is all it is, really. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Stop defending the border? You know,
I mean,
I'm going to cut
back to, like, I mean, Public and I were reading. I found that NDAA on that was signed Christmas, the last Christmas of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back to it. I mean, I still believe that we're in the Kraken, we're in the movie. I know a lot of people get upset with me for saying that. But I'm not going to lie to people that I care about. I'm not trying to say don't do things to protect yourself, protect your family. We are in a time of transition. We're in a time, we're in one of the biggest times to actually take action in this country, to tell everyone you know to take action, to protect your family, your home, yourself with food and hard assets, and to speak out. I do believe that the military is in control. I do believe that Congress is under some kind of cog. There are too many factual documents that line up with it. And that's where when people push back on me and say, oh, that's ridiculous. Well, they want me to go look at it, an article from CNN as a fact. And I'm telling you, I read a military document.
Right.
You know,
actual code, actual executive orders, actual documents that have been, you know, that are there. I mean, what do you make of the executive order that Trump signed in I don't even know what year it was, about confiscating the property of all people involved in certain activities?
Everybody's got amnesia about what happened.
And what if that is really happening right now?
All of these agencies and all of this stuff. And I understand it had to happen in a certain way. And I understand, like, for a long time, like, I got swatted down early on because I started talking about it and it wasn't time, and the people needed to have a soft landing and all that and figure it out on their own. But
it's like talking about Building 7, you know, on September 12th, 2001.
Right. You weren't supposed to do it then, but
nobody's going to listen to you and think you're nuts.
Yeah.
You know, but now, hey, what happened to Building 7? You know,
at this point, like, I'm also not willing to lie to people that I love, and that I'm here to talk about the truth and try to help as many people as we can through this. So, you know,
y'all make your own decisions. The thing is, though, okay, so if you were just to say, I'm not going to talk about it because people are going to get upset, and, you know, it may or may not be true. I think it's true, but if I don't talk about it.
And I'm not saying that Trump is the president, but I do believe he is commander in chief. I'm not saying that he is completely in control, but let's say how I don't maybe understand the full military structure.
But logically think through this. Any other time we would have troops in Ukraine right now. Mm-hmm. We would be sending troops all over the world right now. Why is that not happening? You got to ask yourself that. Why is that not happening? Because they want that war to go hot. I mean, they want it to go hot. Why don't we have troops over there? You know,
stabilizing it, and bringing peace.
Ordinarily, it would be, bring it on. Let's start the Third World War. You know, let's go. But you know, why is that not happening? So
well, and there's such a lie about
stopping that from happening.
There's such a lie about the lands. And if you go to, and we think so small-mindedly, we think about, like, for us, we just think about our lifetime, and the history of America is so short.
It is compared to
short-minded, and they've hidden a lot from us. You know, they've destroyed buildings and buried cities and hid architecture from us so that we would continue to think short-minded and not think about long periods of time.
Right.
But there's so much more of a story there. Like Taiwan has always, China has always, there's a long history of Taiwan's land being a part of China.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't know the long history of that. They only know the short history. And so, you know, oh, let's fight about it, you know. And if you even asked, I remember early on, most of the people in the land that they're like invading would identify themselves as Russian in Ukraine.
It was Russian for so long. And I mean, the Crimeans, the Crimea, I shouldn't say the Crimeans, but Crimea back, you know, a few years back, they actually voted and was like 98% said, no, we want to align with Russia, not Ukraine. They voted to do that because they had always been part of Russia. They've always identified with that. And most of Ukraine, same thing. It was always part of Russia. I mean, or part of the Soviet Union. You can argue that, okay, well, they were forced to be. But, you know, a lot of the people there identify with Russia. I mean, and that's just the way it is. I mean, it'd be like living in Illinois. All right. Do most of the people identify with the current governor or DeSantis who's in town? And most of the people in the probably 75% of the state geographically would identify with Ron DeSantis. And then the other 25% might identify with the current governor. But, you know, if you look at the land mass, and so you got to look at it that way. It's not like, oh, this is one size fits all, pro-crusty in bed. No. You got to understand the history of it. You got to understand the people, and you got to understand the people and where they live and, you know, what their background is. And it's not, hey, you're from Illinois. Oh, how's Chicago? I don't know. I don't go there.
That's a lack of education as well.
Right.
I mean, people don't even know. I can't tell you how many people I say I'm from Oklahoma, and they're like, where is that? You know where Texas is? We're right on top of it. Like
right there.
I mean,
it's like a pan. It's got a little handle on it. You know, it's like
we're just North Texas, but people have no clue, and that's not their own fault. Even it's by design. There's a reason they're not teaching cursive in school.
Right.
And it is so your children cannot read the Constitution or any of those other documents. It's by design. And they
can't write efficiently. I mean, they can't write fluidly. You know, that's cursive. I mean, it's just you know, fluid connection, and so they want to break all the connections.
They want to break generational connections.
They want to break all the connections, and so that's a good example, an analogy, right there, cursive.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think about like there was a whole study about like generational, like when you think about they started moving older people into nursing homes and put little kids in daycares, and you know, mom and dad both have to work and all that, and just the destruction of the family. And then even to the point of like when I pulled Cannon out of school, and now, I mean, at the end of our homeschool, he does this presentation where he dresses up as someone. I don't know if I shared that picture. It's so cute. He was Frederick the First, Redbeard, and so he has this big hair and red beard, and he's this, you know. Anyway, and his reading from last year to this year has improved so much. And when I pulled him out of school, they had him in like a special helping him learn how to read because he was struggling to read. And when I found out what they were doing because of the great infection brought him home, all they were doing is when there was testing, because that's how they get their bonuses and get paid.
Yep.
They would give him an iPad. Yeah, they would give him an iPad that would read the questions to him. So they got all the bonuses, But I was like, what do you do when you, like, you're supposed to be leaving your class and go to this thing for reading for helping you, but he was in that for almost till 3rd grade, and he wasn't improving on his reading.
Yep.
Then he's with me for 2 years, and the kid can read, and he's writing, and
the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. I mean, that's
yeah.
really what it comes down to. I mean, it's just the answer is a very simple thing. You just focus on the core basic things. And I mean, read the book, write about the book, and know how to add and subtract and divide and multiply. I mean, if you know how to do those things, you're golden in life. I mean, that's really what it comes
critically
down to.
Think, ask
yes,
questions.
And then put it all together, and that's where the reading comes in, and the writing comes in, and transferring it. I went to a college, a liberal arts school. Ronald Reagan went to in Eureka College. Every test I had was written in a little blue book. I had to write essays. It was all essay, nothing. I mean, that's the way it was. So you had to know the material. You couldn't BS through it. And I mean, a full professor was in every class, and that's why I loved it, because I'm not some teaching assistant or some crap. And it's, I mean, you're like, you got to know your stuff. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I flourished. I mean, I just love that whole experience. But anymore, the public education system, that's a private school, but the public education system, it's like the unions have taken over, and I don't dog unions, but it's like the leadership at the top of the groups have taken over, and they're all political, and it's all just at the top down control. I mean, and that's what's happened. And it's not about teaching. It's about maintaining power, maintaining status, maintaining the money flow, and anything you can do to do that, that's what they're going to do.
So Light Shadow is asking, do you think the market crashed before Biden removal? Thoughts? They're being really public about the Treasury turned over documents that show these offshore accounts with more than $10 million.
It's just a matter of, and it's always been there. But it's now they're like, okay, let's make it very obvious, and let's tell everybody that it's there. Let's put it in a nice big package to where, look, here it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that a distraction from the default, from the dollar dying? Is it part of the excuses? Is it just all at once?
I think it might all just happen at once. Just a constant flood of truth that just starts unfolding and rolling out. And I mean, the crash has got to happen on Biden's watch. I mean, it should have happened.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we papered this along and kicked it along for decades now.
It's incredible.
It really is incredible. 2008 it died, and they just kept giving it life support and transfusions, and they kept it going. But I mean, they're not going to. Yeah, I mean, they got to have the perfect fall guy. I mean, who better than a senile? Oh
my God! Did you see the video or a picture of Feinstein? She's being rolled. I don't know if she had a stroke or something, and they're
horrible. Well, she probably was on her 5th booster.
They're rolling her back in, and she's like, "Where are you taking me? Where am I going?"
We're taking you to vote, honey. Just we've got it right in front of you.
It is some terrible form of elderly abuse. I mean, don't tell me. I mean, I know she's probably done her fair share of horrible things.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, again, just using the fossils and using these creatures, these shells of human beings to do their bidding. And they don't care. I mean,
and that's why they're still there. That's where people are like, oh, why didn't Trump take out this person? Why does he still have this person and that person and this person in these positions? Because they needed to be there to take the fall when because all this had to come down.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen on Trump's watch. I mean, he even said, you elect me, we're going to have no problem. Stock market's not going to crash. You elect Biden, it's going to crash. He's telegraphing it all. He said the other day, he's like, hey, dollar's going to collapse. I mean, telling you what's going to happen, and it's going to happen, with the people that are going to get the biggest blame and get exposed at the same time. That's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
So you got 2 years. Well, not even. What is it? 2020. I mean, you got less than a year. I mean, the election's in November, so a year and a half.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, as far as the public movie is concerned, it's November 24.
Something. Oh gosh, what did I hear? There is in the documents, and I shared it on my Patreon. but there's a FEMA order for the COG that runs from, I can't remember the start date, but it tells exactly like how it's supposed to run. And the end date on it is March 2024. And we used to inaugurate our presidents in March.
Yeah.
And so I think all this will fall down. I think the markets will fall this summer, and I think all this other will fall or unravel. I think we'll have some kind of election or not, or restructuring maybe. The governor of Oklahoma just did a trade deal with Great Britain. So
it'll get to the point where the states are going to continue. I mean, that was the thing. I think I saw, speaking of DeSantis, I think today it became official that no CBDCs in Florida. Okay, yeah. So if you've got the Federal Reserve coming in
Texas
and saying, hey, exactly, today that was announced. So they're talking about getting that done. And so you're going to have multiple states doing this. So if at the federal level, they say, hey, we're going to have the Fed now, we're going to use this CBDC. And the states are like, whatever. You got Texas is what size of the economy? I mean, one of the biggest.
Texas is one of the largest economies in the world.
Right.
In the world. They're like
thing.
number 6 or 7th in the world.
Right. So if they do whatever they want to do and they say, no, we're not going along with that. How do you make
Texas
that happen?
Is creating a gold and silver backed currency that will be digital. And like it's already passed a couple of the pieces in the House and Senate and whatever.
And
it's on its way, to becoming
law. States like Tennessee, Montana, and I mean, you'll see these other sprinklings of states to where, how do you have, I mean, so there's your digital silver war, basically, is what you've got.
There's 25 states so far.
There's your war between the states, or your war of the states versus the federal, national government, to where they're going to do what they want. And the people are going, they're like, good, let's do that. And so what power at that point does a national government have over the states when the states say, we're not going to use your money? It's like I always say, just exit the vampire casino, quit using their poker chips. What are they going to do to you? Nothing they can do at that point. It's game over. I mean, it's all about the money. So if you just say, nope, not using it. I mean, it's a game changer.
Free men don't ask permission, right?
Sasquatch doesn't ask for permission, does what it wants. Am I right? It goes and does what it wants, and everybody's like,
you're right.
Back off, leave it alone. It's going to do what it wants. Leave him alone.
I think you're right. Oh, man. It's pretty exciting times. And I think there's going to be more like bartering and trading. And, when we talk about this, when we do our classes on Saturdays, which I will not be able to do a class tomorrow because my daughter is taking me to lunch for Mother's Day. But you can go to litecoinlisa.net and sign up for Zoom classes with Westwood and I. There's a link there. Just don't sign up for tomorrow because I will have to reschedule you. But
you're gonna get bumped.
What was I saying? Oh, when we talk about the stability that gold and silver bring to the markets, and how I was watching a Mike Maloney video, and he talked about how the prices of stuff from this really long period of time, I can't remember. It was before they closed the gold and silver window. Like the prices of things stayed stable for so long. And it was like, well, why is that? Well, because gold and silver were stable.
Yeah, money was stable. Right. It was a stable thing. Right. There's only so much coming out of the ground every year. So you kind of know.
And until the inflation kicked in, until they closed the gold window and started printing more money, that's when the price of everything went up, because the price wasn't going up.
No,
it was still a pound of turkey.
Right. You didn't have the inflation of the money supply, because they couldn't inflate the money supply, because you think about it. You had countries in Europe coming to the New World to discover it. Like nobody's ever been here, whatever. But they come to the New World to get gold, to get silver, so they can fight their wars back in Europe, because they got to pay for the soldiers and mercenaries to fight the freaking wars. And, they're bankrupt because, we got to go find some more gold, because, nobody's going to do anything unless they get paid in sound money. And that's what it came down to. So, let's raise a fleet. Let's get an army and navy together. Let's get over there and steal everybody's gold, bring it back, and then we can do whatever we want to do. Well, now they don't have to do that. They can just create it out of nothing. Whatever. So, that put a check on inflation. Because if there's only so much money to go around, you got to go find some more money if you're going to do more things and destroy more things and pay more people to destroy things. Now they say, whatever, just create it, print it up, whatever. And so you get to a point and you say, I'm not going to suit up and put a gun, and backpack on to go fight the war anymore because you're going to pay me this garbage. No, you're going to have to pay me something real, or else I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we are at the point of, tyranny, that our time, effort has been stolen from us through this financial system. And Glenn Beck is going to be holding a informational streaming or whatever show next Thursday with some constitutional educators and former I don't know if they're former military or former police, something like that. Some kind of, maybe they're sheriffs. I'm not sure, but giving some tangible things that you can do, some information for you to put in your hands and in your mind for some action steps. And I think Bannon was kind of doing the same thing. They were like, okay, it's time. And it's time to say enough.
Yeah, and that's it. You just withdraw your
there are lawful things that we can do in a peaceful way to say that we opt out of the vampire system, as Westwood says.
Pretty much. Don't play in the casino. They're just making chips and label them whatever they want and try and cash them out the window and go downstairs and Joe Pesci breaks your knuckles, kicks you in the feet and legs and knees and puts your head in a vice. I mean, that's where you're at. I mean, they're just going to do what they want. Sorry, you can't check out. You got to keep playing. All right, well, I'm done playing. I don't want the money anymore. I'm going to put my energy somewhere else. Whatever I can make, I'm going to put into another system you can't control. We've got those economic tools, so use them. Just withdraw. And you're seeing states withdraw. I mean, you just pull out of the freaking system and stop feeding it.
It is really encouraging. And you guys, you can do things where you're seeing, what Governor Stitt's doing in Oklahoma, what you're seeing, different examples, what Texas is doing. Find those articles and send them to your legislators. I mean, I do believe that they're all under NDAs and they're compliant with what the military is telling them to do, to be honest. But it's our job to get educated. And part of this is for us to say, this is what we want. And the military is there for the people. And so tell them, say, you know what, do your job. Be there for us.
Right.
So I think you can do all of that. Yeah. Yeah. So spaces tonight, Westwood?
Holy cow. I'd start it right now. I don't know.
I can't start right now.
I don't know. When do we start?
My husband's cooking for me again.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's a really great cook, but
into the lips, onto the hips.
I know. I'm like, dude, stop.
He is a good cook, but it's like,
gosh, I know. He's trying to help, though. He's been doing a lot of Chinese food lately, so I'm just having like smaller portions, and I'm like, okay, let's try not so much pasta and cream sauce.
Right. Let's leave the heavy cream out and the pasta.
No potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, because that stuff, it'll
like a little brown rice and some lean chicken and veggies. Let's do that.
Right.
Yeah.
That stuff's good too.
I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as spaces tonight, I don't know. I'll probably have to start it early, like 7.
You got things to do. You got to get up early and mow all that property.
I mowed it all. I mowed it all Wednesday, and then I mowed the neighbors on yesterday and got that all
you
done.
Mowing the neighbors too? Wow.
Oh yeah, mowing across the street, baby. I'm just a caretaker now. I'm taking care of business.
Dear Lord. That's a lot of mowing.
Mowing like a mofo.
That is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot.
He's like a world traveler now, so I never see him. I got to go over there and make sure the grass doesn't get too high.
I know Johnny said he saw him in New York the other day.
Yeah, they met. They had coffee and stuff. And they're like, hey, I'm like, what the frick?
Since when is Mitch hanging out in New York?
He's got a thing out there. He sent a guy from Detroit out to New York for something. I don't know. Got a thing.
Interesting.
Got a thing.
All right. What a good neighbor. I agree. He's a great neighbor. All right. Well, we hope to see all of you guys. Go to clintwestwood.net. Click on Happy Hour Roadshow right at the top. Big letters. You can go to litecoinlisa.net. And on my front page, there's all kinds of stuff. You can check out some of my favorite products at the bottom. Get your new Eden. Check out some C60. Get your gummies. Get your
Westwood whiskey.
We're working on that.
As soon as Lisa gets the whole brewery / distilling business going,
we gotta have a little whiskey, boom here in silver,
Lisa
and then
blonde lager.
Yeah,
we'll have
I don't know. We're gonna figure it out.
We gotta get this.
I'm just worried that for me to do that, silver has to go up, and then I'm like, then metals are gonna be so expensive to build a distillery. I don't know
you go buy
it'll
one.
be possible
because the economy is gonna crash, and you just go pick the pieces up, and there you go.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's like me in cars. You go buy a car that's kind of a diamond in the rough, and you fix it up just enough to get by, and next thing you know, you get to Oklahoma City and come home.
There you go. And come right back
accomplishes
and
the
then
goal.
You get your aces to Peoria, Illinois. As Polly P says.
Put your aces in their places.
Put your aces in your places. Maybe that'll be our shirt for this year.
Get your aces in their places. So, June 23rd, Peoria, Illinois, Peoria Pizza Works, live happy hour, 4 p.m. Central. Get there. 3 p.m. is when it starts. But get there, hang out. Let's get live, and maybe you'll jump on camera with us. And drink and smoke cigars and hang out. And it's a live
talk about all the good stuff. Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you all for joining us in the chat. We love you. And we'll see you guys next time on Happy Hour. Take care.
Trust yourselves. Trust yourself.